Time now for our daily segment on the Wuhan virus vaccines, the vaccine tracker. There are two big stories today. First, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to visit the Serum Institute in Pune. We tell you why this visit, that is if it happens, will be a significant one. In story number two, we will look at the Oxford vaccine's puzzling results. Is the shot 90% effective or is it 70% effective? We will tell you all about this over the next few minutes. Let's get started with the first story. Indian media reports claiming that Prime Minister Modi is likely to visit the Pune-based Serum Institute of India. The high-profile visit is expected to be on the 28th of November, that is coming Saturday. The Serum Institute is the world's largest manufacturer. And like we have been telling you, the firm has partnered with the Oxford University and AstraZeneca to manufacture their vaccine candidate, which is being called Covishield. The firm is also carrying out phase 3 trials of the shot in India. It is aiming to manufacture 100 million doses of the vaccine candidate by January 2021. The Indian Prime Minister's visit to this facility will be significant in more ways than one. It will underline India's commitment towards helping affordable vaccines reach the developing world and the people of India. Let's talk about affordability first. The Oxford vaccine is likely to be cheaper than its counterparts being developed by Moderna and Pfizer. The drug makers are promising to sell the vaccine at cost price to the developing world. In India, for example, the Oxford vaccine would cost less than $13. People will be able to buy a single shot of the Oxford vaccine for around $7 to $8. The government will be able to get it for much lesser, according to estimates that could be around $3 to $4. Compare this now to the Pfizer shot. According to reports, it could cost the US government up to $20 a shot. The Moderna shot is priced at $15 for the US government. When bought privately, the vaccine's price could be higher. So clearly, the Oxford vaccine is the more viable option. It will also be easier to transport to developing countries. That's a very crucial aspect. Earlier this month, India's Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said, and I'm quoting now, several countries have been approaching us for receiving vaccine supply. I reiterate the Prime Minister's commitment that India's vaccine production and delivery capacity will be used to help all humanity in fighting this crisis. The Prime Minister's visit to the Serum Institute will be a step towards delivering on this commitment. Here's why. For starters, unlike the Pfizer shot, the Oxford vaccine will not need to be stored at a minus 70 degrees Celsius temperature. The shot can be stored, transported and handled at 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. And these are standard refrigerators conditions. This will make it easier to transport and distribute the doses to the remote areas of India and the world. The Oxford vaccine is also committed to COVAX, which is a global initiative aimed at distributing low-cost vaccines to low and middle-income countries. Pfizer and Moderna have not joined the COVAX initiative. The Serum Institute also has a deal with Gavi, or the Global Vaccine Alliance. The firm has received a financial support of $150 million from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This is for supplying 100 million doses of the vaccines for low and middle income countries. My point here is simple. The vaccine that India's Serum Institute is manufacturing is the one that is being touted as the shot for the developing world. This is the vaccine that a lot of countries are relying on. Ambassadors and envoys from 100 countries will be visiting the Serum Institute in December. The firm has already promised 30 million doses of the Oxford vaccine to Bangladesh. Speaking in Nepal just today, the Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla said that India will be making the Wuhan virus vaccine accessible and affordable. Prime Minister Modi's visit to the Serum Institute will only underline this commitment. On to the second story on tonight's vaccine tracker, what's being called the puzzling results of the Oxford vaccine. Is the candidate 90% effective or is it 70% effective? Allow me to try and answer this in the simplest way possible. According to data from the phase 3 trials, the vaccine candidate is 70% effective on an average. But researchers have found a difference in the shot's efficacy depending on the amount of vaccine administered to the candidate. You see, the Oxford vaccine consists of 2 doses. The second dose is administered after a month's gap. Researchers have found that the group of volunteers who were given 2 full doses showed 62% effectiveness. The group has received a lower dose the first time and were then given a full dose a month later. They showed 90% efficacy, or they were 90% less likely to contract the Wuhan virus. Another thing here is that the volunteers in this group were below 55 years of age. So that is the answer to whether the vaccine is 70% effective or 90% effective.